Hey everyone, it's Brittany from Wistful Drinking. Happy Mother's Day. Are the women in your life always telling you to eat your vegetables? Well, here's your chance to give them to them. We're going to make this delicious veggie brunch bowl that will make really anyone want to eat their vegetables. So I have my apron on to protect all the drippings from my puke brunch outfit, and then I have the strawberry mint drink that Hannah made. So delicious, will pair really well with this bowl. Just one more drink before we can go ahead and get started. All right, just one more. It's just so good. All right, now we can go ahead and get started. So first we're going to start with the garlic roasted tomatoes. I have about a cup and a half or half a pound of grape tomatoes that have already been rinsed, and then we're going to put them out onto the cutting board, and then we're going to cut them in half. Oop, making sure none of them get away. We don't want to lose any of those delicious tomatoes. You want to make sure you're using a very sharp knife so that it doesn't slip and you don't cut yourself. Using sharp knives really help prevent injuries in the kitchen. You want to have a firm grip on that knife as you cut each tomato, protecting those little fingers from the knife. Cut all the tomatoes in half until you have this beautiful bowl of red, delicious tomatoes. So first we're going to take some garlic. We're going to take 2 cloves of garlic. This is already peeled. We're going to use a garlic press to press it into the tomatoes. I like using a garlic press because I think it's easy, cleanup is fast. You can always mince the garlic and place it in there, but I love using garlic presses. I take the back of my knife, scrape it, all of that goodness of garlic is in there. Garlic is just so good. It smells so good. Once we do that, we're going to take some olive oil. So we're going to take about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and place it straight into that bowl. All that olive oil goodness. And then we're going to mix it with, you guessed it, your hands, the best tool in the kitchen. You're going to mix it nice and well, making sure that you get all of the tomatoes coated with that olive oil, and the garlic just smells so good. Now we're going to take a generous pinch of salt and place it onto the tomatoes. It's about a tablespoon of salt, but you can eyeball it. I rarely measure out salt. So next we are going to take our oven and place it to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Both the tomatoes and potatoes are going to cook at the same temperature, which is super convenient. Next we're going to start on the potatoes. So these are baby potatoes. It's about half a pound of baby potatoes. You can use fingerling potatoes. Just make sure that they're small because we're going to smash them later. It's going to be so fun. So we're going to poke all the potatoes a couple times with a fork. This will help prevent them from exploding in the oven. I've made potatoes this way. They exploded in the oven. I'm trying to save you some heartache, some grief, that all your potatoes are exploded and your brunch is ruined, and we don't want that. So we're just going to poke all the potatoes, and then once they're all poked, we're going to place them back into the bowl, carefully making sure that none of those potatoes roll away. Oh, there's one tried to get away, but I got it back. There we go. Once all the potatoes are poked, we're going to take about a tablespoon and a half of olive oil and place it back into that bowl. These potatoes are going to kind of fry in the oven so they get crispy and delicious. We're going to take a very generous helping of salt, about 2 pinches. Delicious. We want to make sure that they are very well seasoned. Then we're going to mix them in this bowl with, again, your hands. Great tools. Oh, trying not to let any of the potatoes get away. This bowl is a little too small. I'd recommend using a bigger bowl. Once all the potatoes are all nice and mixed, we're going to take 2 sheet pans, and then we're going to, had to get another drink. We're going to line one of the sheet pans with tin foil, which we're going to use for the tomatoes. We're going to place the tomatoes onto that sheet pan, spreading them out, making sure it's all nice and even. Then we're going to crimp the sides of the aluminum foil so that all the juices from the tomatoes stay in and they don't get all at the bottom of your oven. They don't bake to the bottom of your oven, then you have some terrible cleanup later. We want cleanup to be nice and easy, and tin foil is great for that. The other sheet pan we're going to place the potatoes on carefully, making sure all that olive oil is on there. And then I like to roll around the potatoes in the oil to make sure all the potatoes are nice and coated because they're going to cook nice, soak up all that oil in the oven so they get nice and crispy. There we go, rolling them around. It's a lot of fun. So our oven is preheated. We're going to take the potatoes and put them into the oven for 20 minutes. We're going to leave the tomatoes there. Once 20 minutes is up, we're going to take the potatoes out of the oven and smash them with the bottom of a measuring cup. You can use any heavy cup to do this. I like a measuring cup because it has a nice handle. Carefully smash them, not letting them explode. We just want to flatten them a little bit so that they crisp up better in the oven. Try not to get the potato bits out. You see I got a few out. That's okay. Nothing's perfect. So then we're going to take a spatula and move the potatoes around into the rest of that oil that's on the pan. We want to make sure that the potatoes are still covered in nice oil. If they look a little dry, you can add more oil here. We want them to be nice and crispy. And then we're going to put them back in the oven for 10 minutes, and then you're going to take them out, flip them, and put them in for another 10 minutes. This is when we put the tomatoes in. The tomatoes are going to be in for 20 minutes, so everything comes out at the same time. Now we're going to start with the spinach. This is garlic spinach. You're going to turn on your heat to medium-high with a non-stick skillet, and then place olive oil in the skillet. Nice angle here of my cooking. Hey, what's up? We're going to spread the olive oil around in the pan and then wait for that to heat up a little bit. Once we do that, we're going to have 2 cloves of already minced garlic and place it into the pan. We want that garlic to get nice and fragrant, and then I'm going to take just about a pinch of red chili flakes, about 1/4 of a teaspoon to 1/2 a teaspoon if you like spicy things. If you don't, you can always omit this. Place it right into the garlic. Spread that around for about a minute until the garlic is very fragrant. Then we're going to take 8 ounces, that's 1 bag of baby spinach, and place it into the pan. We're going to get this spinach all nice and wilted. It's going to be delicious. We're going to season our spinach with some salt and pepper. You want to have a nice big pinch of salt and then a few turns of fresh cracked pepper. I like fresh cracked pepper better because I think it tastes better, but you can always use already ground pepper if that's all you have. We work with what we got in these times right now. Once you've seasoned your spinach, you're going to toss the spinach around, making sure that the garlic is incorporated in the spinach until it wilts. It'll take probably about a minute for all that spinach to wilt, 1.5 minutes. Once that's all done, delicious. You can turn your heat off. Now we're going to start with the eggs. I'm going to scramble these eggs. You always want to crack your eggs on a flat surface. This will prevent shells from getting in. If you crack it on a jagged surface or at the edge of your counter, that will push the shell in, and then you'll get shells in your eggs, which you do not want. Trust me, it's a foolproof way to do it. We're going to scramble our eggs, whisk them nice and well so that you get some air in there, and then you're going to turn your heat on to medium-high, and then season your eggs with salt and pepper. Cracks of pepper, some salt. If you like other seasonings in your eggs, feel free to add them at this point. I'm going to keep it simple because our bowl has some delicious things on it. To cook my eggs, I like to use a mixture of oil and butter. So we have a small pat of butter with a little bit of oil to coat the bottom of the pan. And then once that pan is hot, we're going to place our eggs into the pan carefully. As you can see, it's not completely sizzling. We don't want it super hot because I'm going to do a method of eggs that I love doing. This is a great method for omelets, for sandwiches. Once you see the eggs starting to solidify a little bit, you're going to scrunch the egg down and then tilt the pan to get the uncooked egg that's on top cooked. Great method. We're just going to keep tilting, cooking. We're going to get a turner and then turn the egg on itself so it's in a little packet. The inside is going to cook, don't worry. We're going to flip it, make sure that the inside is cooked. You can always place a top on your pan to get the inside to cook. And there we go, we have this nice, beautiful egg. Now we're going to assemble our brunch bowl. I placed the egg in the middle, then we're going to spread all the accoutrements on the side. We got the tomatoes, the spinach, and then we have the potatoes. I took the potatoes out of the oven and then coated them in some pesto. Delicious. It's actually the vegan pesto from Trader Joe's. So good. We're going to take some slices of avocado, place them on the side. We're going to take some pickled red onions. I pickled myself. Quick pickling. I'll do this in another video. So easy, so great to add flavor. And then we're going to take some pepitas or shelled pumpkin seeds, put those on the side. These are for crunch, deliciousness. You can toast them if you would like as well. We're going to take some scallions, place them on top of the eggs. And then we're going to top it all off with some cheese. This is grated Parmesan cheese, fresh Parmesan. Place it on top. So good. You can use any kind of cheese you would like. And then we have some more of that pesto. Going to mix it up and then place a dollop on top. Just look at how beautiful this looks. So many colors, so many veggies. Now let's see how it tastes. So good, so delicious. The pesto really brings it all together. The spinach is just delicious. The tomatoes are great. All of that garlic flavor, so good. I'm loving eating this. I hope you make it for the women in your life. I hope they love it and you do too.